नमस्कार।
हाँ,
विमेन टीवी इंडिया के कार्यक्रम जियो तो जियो ऐसे में स्वागत है दोस्तों आप सभी का दिल से। हमारे आज के इस विशेष कार्यक्रम के विशेष अतिथि हैं कर्नल डॉक्टर राजिंदर सिंह, फॉर्मर सीनियर एडवाइजर साइकेट्री आर्म्ड फोर्सेस, वॉलंटरी डायरेक्टर ऑफ 2 ड्रग डी एडिक्शन सेंटर्स। डॉक्टर कर्नल राजिंदर सिंह 92 वर्षीय वरिष्ठ मनोचिकित्सक और समाज सेवी हैं। इन्होंने मानसिक स्वास्थ्य और नशा मुक्ति के क्षेत्र में अपना जीवन समर्पित कर दिया है। पिछले 5 दशकों में इन्होंने 35,000 से अधिक लोगों का उपचार कर उन्हें एक नई दिशा दी है। इनकी चिकित्सा पद्धति में करुणा, सेवा और अध्यात्म का विशेष स्थान रहा है। 1991 में सेवा से सेवानिवृत्ति के बाद डॉक्टर सिंह ने गुरुद्वारा श्री तेग बहादुर सेक्टर 34 चंडीगढ़ में स्थित चैरिटेबल डिस्पेंसरी में अपनी सेवा जारी रखी, जहां वे निस्वार्थ भाव से रोगियों की सेवा करते हैं। 2004 से बड़ू साहिब स्थित कलगीधर ट्रस्ट द्वारा संचालित 2 नशा मुक्ति केंद्रों के निदेशक भी हैं, जहां ये पुरुषों और महिलाओं दोनों को पुनर्वास की दिशा में मदद कर रहे हैं। With extensive experience as a psychiatrist in the Indian Armed Forces, Dr. Colonel Rajinder Singh has honed his expertise in the field of mental health. डॉक्टर सिंह ने नशा मुक्ति पर 2 पुस्तकें भी लिखी हैं और उनके द्वारा संचालित प्रेरणादायक अभियानों को लिम्का बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स में स्थान भी मिला है। मानसिक स्वास्थ्य और नशा मुक्ति के क्षेत्र में उनके अद्वितीय योगदान के लिए उन्हें लाइफ टाइम अचीवमेंट अवार्ड्स भी मिले हैं, जो इनके समर्पण और सेवा भावना का सजीव प्रमाण है। इसके साथ ही डॉक्टर राजिंदर सिंह का कहना है, यूथ मस्ट नो दैट इट इज ईजियर टू स्टे आउट ऑफ ड्रग एडिक्शन देन टू कम आउट ऑफ इट। दूर रहना बेहतर है, इलाज तो ये कर ही रहे हैं, लेकिन फिर भी। तो डॉक्टर साहब, आपका स्वागत है विमेन टीवी इंडिया के इस मंच पे। डॉक्टर साहब, आप इतने वर्षों से मनोचिकित्सा के क्षेत्र में जुड़े हुए हैं, अपना जीवन इसी को समर्पित किया है। इसकी शुरुआत कैसे हुई? कहाँ से आपको प्रेरणा मिली कि आपने जीवन के लिए ये रास्ता चुनना है?
देखो, you see, I was right from the beginning interested in the behavior of the persons. Why do they behave the way they do? One thing, after my graduation, passing MBBS, I got posted voluntarily to mental hospital, Amritsar, where I worked with these mental patients. It was a mental hospital at that time. Now it's an institute of mental health, well developed. And in those days, it was the psychiatry was considered as one of the most tabooed subject in discipline of medicine. So somehow I was interested in it. So my craze was to know कि आदमी जो जैसे behave करता है वो क्यों करता है. So I delved into it, and ultimately I found there's a definite reason why people behave the way they do. So many reasons, most of psychosocial reasons, biological, genetics, and when I feel that the way they behave, the way they talk, the job of a psychiatrist is to make sense out of nonsense. What the people think that these people are talking nonsense, they are very sensible for us. Whatever they talk or whatever they converse and whatever they tell to the parents or to the relatives or to the public, it's very relevant. Each word is very relevant, and each word points to some diagnostic, category of the psychiatric illness. And our job is very simple. I must say, the job of a psychiatrist is very simple. It is just to hear, analyze, come to some conclusion, and then advise. No more investigations, nothing much of the, these paraphernalia of ultrasound, blood counts, and all these problems. So we come to the diagnosis, we make sense out of nonsense. And it's very easy now for us. Now I believe I have been working with more than 50 years now. So I feel I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate that just listening to them, I can help them. I can help them through counseling, through family therapy, through group counseling, and through pharmacotherapy, through the drugs. It's a very interesting and fascinating subject, which is to my liking. And I'm really grateful that I am able to serve the human beings as much as possible nowadays. So I am doing my best, and it is very fulfilling for me. It's very, you see, I get satisfaction, and I am really grateful to Almighty to have given me this opportunity to do something which the humanitarian, it's a very big problem. Mental health is an extremely taboo subject even now, though the taboo is much less as before. Because when I joined psychiatry in mental hospital, nobody was willing to take up psychiatry in a mental hospital.
In the beginning, yes.
Now, of course, things are much better, much better. It's a very, competitive subject to get into psychiatry and do post-graduation. It's very prestigious subject. Now, I feel especially with the dawn of drug addiction for the last few decades, it has become a very, paying area also. And the psychiatrists are getting the maximum pay in any discipline of medicine. After just doing everything, they can get the maximum any person in the disciplines of psychiatry can get. So it's now a very, it's a subject people want to enter into. In
Really.
spite this very, uh, and you can choose it. You want people want to become psychiatrists, whatever the reasons. In spite of the fact that it's a taboo, though the taboo is much less as compared to the previous time when we joined. I'm talking about almost in 56, near 56. So it's more.
56 years experience.
So
जी.
it's very good. I'm doing my best to serve these patients to bring them out of the problem which they nobody wants to hear. These
हाँ,
problems nobody wants to hear, but this is so satisfying. I personally feel that if you treat and bring the patient out of the problem, you are doing great service to the humanity
to the
because
humanity.
it's only disciplinary illness. It affects the individual, it affects the individual's psyche, the physique, the family members, the parents, all the family members, and the society. And it also affects especially the drug addiction, it affects the crime in the society. Crime
Really.
goes up, number of addictions, more the crime statistics go up. And
Really.
also, this is, you see, this is a area which has very dire repercussions on the society, on the family, on the individual, and even the neighboring. Everybody is affected. So once you treat even one patient, you are doing great service as compared to the other disciplines of medicine, which
Society.
they are
Very
isolated,
nice.
they are confined to different areas. This affects many areas. Medicine is medicine of the heart, gastrointestinal system, and other surgery is confined to yes, surgery of the heart and other areas. But this area covers much more beyond the person, the family, the society, the crimes, the taboo, and so many areas are affected. So if you
Very
bring patient out of addiction, or out of psychiatric illness, it's a great relief for the society, for the family, for the individual, and especially for the psychiatrist. He feels really uh, happy that he has done something to the society. So
Very nice.
my inspiration was, well, one can say, yes, I got inspired. The professor of, you see, the medical student in those days was Dr. Vidyasagar. He is a legend in psychiatry, and he is also known as father of Indian psychiatry,
Secretary.
under whom I worked for in two postings, 1.5 to 2 years each posting. So that was another inspiration for me because he was doing great service to this site. So he also inspired me. So there are many inspirations for me, myself, my family, every support I got from every corner, from my teachers, from my superior bosses, and from my family. So
Good.
this is my choices subject, which I have chosen and I am working for it. I feel very fortunate.
Yeah, this is really motivating that you love your subject and you love your work.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely. Mhm. It's
सर
a,
आपका इतने सालों का अनुभव है इस क्षेत्र में, तो कोई खास घटना, कोई खास पेशेंट आपके आर्मी एक्सपीरियंस में या बाद में जो आप आज बताना चाहें, किसी की कहानी यहाँ पे?
kahani. There are very many interesting, you see, stories and interesting histories of the patients. So one which I recall sometimes is that a young girl who came to me after being referred by another person she knew, not by the medical officer, not by the specialist, not by the cardiologist, but by somebody other than the medical specialist or the medical, you see, specialist in any area of society. So she came with the history of a young girl with the pain in the chest, left side of the chest. So when I talked to her, she gave a very interesting. She was a master in the subject sociology or psychiatry or psychology. So after having finished, so she unfortunately her father had died of some illness earlier, about 5 6 years back. So her mother, after that, she became unwell. She developed paralysis of the, you see, one side of the body. So her mother was confined to bed, and the mother was telling her that, "Beta, you must get married. Now I am in the old age, so you are the only child, and I wish your father is no more. I wish that you should get married." She insisted that no, she will not get married because you are who will look after you. So this was the conflict in her mind and in the mind of the mother also. Mother wanted her to get married. The daughter said that she is not willing to get married because who will look after you? That was the conflict in the mind of this young girl. And she was having some pain in the chest. And when I asked how did it start, when did it start, she told it was about almost about a year, about 10 months has passed. And she told that she was, when it started, she went to the a local doctor and then an MBBS doctor who again referred, he found nothing. MBBS doctor took the blood pressure, the pulse, everything, nothing abnormal. So he referred to the medical specialist. So the medical specialist also, you see, examined her and he also didn't find anything. He took up the ECG and other investigations. He said, "You are okay, there's nothing to worry." Yeah? But the medical specialist referred her to the cardiologist. So she went to the cardiologist. Cardiologist people are very busy people. So he just scanned the file the papers, and he said, "Oh, everything is okay. Blood pressure, pulse, ECG, and you see cardiography, X-ray test, everything." And he said, it was no 5-10 minutes. He said, "There's nothing wrong with you." He threw the files, and this act made her so miserable that she is suffering from some problem, and nobody is understanding her. I am so unlucky that nobody, they said nothing is there. So even the cardiologist didn't refer her to the psychiatrist. It's somebody else who referred to them. So everything is okay with you. You can talk to a psychiatrist or a counselor. So this is how she came. And then when we probed her, we found the conflict in her mind, which was the cause of her anxiety, and anxiety was the cause of her pain in the chest. So, pain in the chest is not a physical problem at times, it can be a purely psychological and emotional issue, which unfortunately is not being understood by the busy physicians, physical physicians, the medical specialists, the MBBS, and even the cardiologists. They do not have time to talk to the patients, to explore the family background, explore. They only focus on the physical blood pressure, pulse, seeing the local area, and nothing else. So it's only we require to spend time with the patient to explore psychological areas, emotional areas, so that you can. So this is an area which is a delicate issue. Even if you ask somebody about the problem, emotional problem, uh, firstly they don't have to ask. They don't have time to ask to explore these areas, and they feel that this is a personal problem. We are not bothered about it. But they are not only personal problem; they are very important problem for the individual. Physical apart, physical symptoms, physical illnesses apart, emotional illnesses are very important. They have a bearing on each organ of the body. One should understand this. So, she ultimately, we had a few counseling sessions, the psychologist working on her, sociologist working on her, and she could get well. Few medicines were required also. So ultimately, she improved. She could, see the reality, and ultimately, what happened? It was she had improved with the emotional treatment, the psychological treatment only, and few medicines. So this is a learning for me, for others also, that they should explore. Every doctor should explore the emotional areas also. They are also
Emotional.
not, they don't have time to go into these areas. That's no issue for the patient. Patient wants the treatment. Patient wants to get well. She or he doesn't have any other concern. He wants to have treatment and to have physically improved, mentally improved. So it's ours is an area which is very comprehensive, and we have to explore all these areas. And I'm very, you see, fortunate that I could, you see,
Cure her.
do something for her. She, the exploration made her well. She was physically and mentally able to uh, take the challenges which were which faced by her.
Good.
So that's just one area. There are many other interesting challenges which has, for example, when we were in the de-addiction area, there are many areas, many challenges, very many challenges that if you want to
Real
know,
challenges in the drug de-addiction.
Mm. So, for example, I have been in this area of drug addiction since 2004 in the
Yes.
with Calcutta Trust. So, it was ordained by our president, Honorable Baba Iqbal Singh Ji, who uh, called me once in 2004, and he said that this area needs treatment. We are involved primarily in the educational area. Calcutta Trust is primarily involved in educational areas, but because the youth is being destroyed by the drugs, we must do something. Who will be educated if the youth are being demolished and destroyed and devastating their lives with the drugs? So we must do something. So there we started. I was alone at that time in 2004, and we started the work there in Chima district, Sangrur, and at
Yes.
a place, a very historical place, that's the birthplace of Sant Atar Singh Ji Maharaj. There is a
Maharaj.
Gurudwara in his name, Gurudwara Janmasthan, Baba Atar Singh Ji. So there I started. I used to see patients just as a camp. I used to go from Chandigarh, and it took about 4 hours going and 4 hours coming. In those
Coming back.
times, time is less comparatively. It takes about 3 hours because the good roads now. And I used to go on Sunday. I was all alone, and I must say that uh, reminded of the verse, Urdu verse, हाँ, मैं अकेला ही चला था जान बे मंजिल लोग आते गए और कारवां
कारवां।
बढ़ता गया. So I
कुछ अच्छा
remember
काम शुरू होता है तो शुरू करना मुश्किल होता है, लोग आ जाते हैं साथ में, लेकिन
and
शुरू करना मुश्किल होता है।
the first to join me was one of my psychologists who was working with me in 90s. So he came and he said he will join. He was the first one. Then I was once attending an international conference and I met an American psychiatrist. He just happened to meet me and said he was introduced by one of our common friends. So he said that he wants to come here and do some seva. So luckily we were in search of that. So he opted, and he was an American citizen. He was a psychiatrist. So he was the second person to join. The third person to join after a few months was a German pathologist. She also wanted to serve India because you see the people want to have connection with the place they are born, with the you see country they are born in. They are always longing to be there, to be of service to that country, to that place where they belong to. So she came. Another reason for her own son was a problem, drug problem. So she wanted to get into this area and wanted to help the son. So she served with us. She was the third person to join. And thereafter, another person came from Bombay. He was a psychiatrist again. So gradually now it's a full-fledged, Chima is a full-fledged drug de-addiction center. We have made it. It started as just as a missionary work in a Gurdwara. There was no, you see, social infrastructure, no nursing staff, no nothing of the ward boys, nothing of such. But we managed for few years, about 2 years we managed. Then we got the building. And then we have a full-fledged, one of the biggest center in Punjab, 30-bedded hospital in Chima, in Sangrur. And this has created its own name. We have published a paper also, Impact of a Drug De-Addiction Center of Holistic Treatment. We followed up about 500 patients and followed up after 5 to 10 years. And then we analyzed the psychosocial areas, their family areas, the abstinence rate, and it was wonderful. It was a very good, it's been published in the Indian Journal of Social Psychiatry last year. And this center, our abstinence rate which we did was about 32%. But if we include those patients who had relapsed with lapses, it was a abstinence with intermittent lapses. It was an abstinence. We had divided the abstinent patients into abstinent, abstinent on maintenance, especially opiates, and third was abstinent with intermittent lapses. These were the patients who used to take, drink on festive occasions. And the family member didn't have any objection because they, after a day or so, they were back on the job. They were looking after their families. They enjoyed the festive occasion, the marriage, or some Diwali, Dussehra, and they were back. If we include that, our abstinence rate was 59%, which has been published. It starts in the, as compared to the many other studies which are not
Quite
as
encouraging.
much less than. So the challenges in this area also, we felt many challenges. First challenge which we, as you see, confronted was the the start of a liquor vend just in front of our de-addiction center by the government. That's why this alcohol is a government sponsored addiction. Government is supplying, drug, the alcohol, the liquor by the government vents. So the government established the vent just in front of our de-addiction center. This was a great challenge because we never wanted this, because the patients saw this liquor vent, they got the cues and they would relapse. This is a very important area for everyone to know that the liquor vent should not be near the de-addiction center. I wrote to the chief minister, I wrote to the social welfare ministry, even center and the state, and I approached the taxation commissioner. So many people, none of them replied. None of them. None
You're
of
not
them.
getting that support from government.
No, I didn't get any support from this till I wrote a letter to a serving judge that my problem is this. I am serving these patients and the government has opened a liquor vent just in front of it.
In front of
So,
it.
so that great man, I must say, he took this request, my personal request, and he, without informing me, he appointed a lawyer, government lawyer, and he started the case against the state with the title Rajinder Singh against state of Punjab. Huh? Liquor ban. I didn't know anything because he didn't inform me. So people used to tell me that भी वो तुम्हारी आज पेशी थी तो पता नहीं I don't know पेशी थी कहाँ कहती वो आपकी पेशी थी वहाँ हाँ, तो I didn't know he fought the case, the government fought the lawyer fought the case, and ultimately we won. I never visited the court. I never even once went to the court. It was already the lawyer appointed by that judge, the senior judge in the Punjab and Haryana High Court. So they fought the case. It took about more than I think more than 7-8 months. So ultimately it was decided, and that liquor ban was lifted from that place.
So finally you got government support in this case. In fact वो होता क्या है कि अगर लगे रहो तो हो जाता है. आमतौर पे लोग सरकार भी सोचती है कि शायद थोड़ी देर के लिए आए हैं, but when they are convinced कि this person will do something concrete, then they also follow. तो आपने मजबूर कर दिया सरकार को अपना साथ देने के लिए.
I had to message the first judgment by the Chief Justice of Haryana, Punjab and Haryana Court was that this center should be shifted about 1,000 meters away. But that also didn't serve my purpose because patients were again seeing that. Then I revised the petition. The lawyer told me that you write again a letter, we will do whatever you want. I wrote again another letter, and that it took about a month or two, and they revised this. Then the DSP came to came to the center चीमा कि आप बात चाहते क्या हो, बताओ जरा क्या चाहते हो. मैंने कहा मैं चाहता हूँ कि सेंटर को उठाओ, यहाँ से लिकर वैन को उठाओ, पेशेंट है वहाँ. तो उन्हें 1,000 मीटर में कर दिया, but this is
होता
not.
क्या है?
हाँ, कहता हम उठा देंगे, बताओ कहाँ? मैंने कहा यहाँ से उठा दो, बिल्कुल. That from that by the village, I don't know where it went. It was never seen.
वहाँ से गया. गुड गुड गुड. वो
This was.
अगर ये बेंचमार्क होता है ना हर एक का कि हम कितनी सक्सेस चाहते हैं, अगर
हाँ,
कोई हर एक
this
का
was.
बेंचमार्क अलग होता है. So aim should be high. Your aim was high, so you achieved.
I succeeded, but it was very, difficult time. I had to face so many difficulties, visit them multiple times, all alone. And I remember I visited the taxation commissioner. He said, no, it will be done, don't worry. He said, I was DC in Faridkot, and I used to go for the de-addiction, campaign, and I used to advise these, public how to get rid of addiction. तो मैंने कहा सर ये करो, अभी हमारा तो ये तो उठाओ ना यहाँ से. It nothing was not done at all. He told me to wait for till April when we revise the, again the liquor vents. So when I went there, he says, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it because there was some complaint. Even that failed. So that thereafter I had to approach that magistrate who was so kind. I must say he was great, and he did a great job. It's not I did, it's he did basically. I just wrote a letter to him, and he did the job. He removed the.
सर जो आप काम कर रहे हैं इस वक्त आफ्टर योर रिटायरमेंट, और जो आप आर्मी में काम कर रहे थे, तो उसमें किस तरह का फर्क महसूस होता है आपको?
Army, army is I joined army as an emergency officer during the emergency 1962 Chinese war. So I joined there, but then once I went there, I had no mind at all to join army early. But when I went there, I found that it's a beautiful service. My wife was in civil service. So I remember how she had to work so hard, and every time she was posted out to different crime centers, and so difficult it was. So there was no interference like this. And secondly, the decorum and the discipline of the army life I liked, and I stayed there thereafter. It was, and my wife also wanted. The army service is definitely better than civil. So I stayed there, and it was a beautiful service. I got what I wanted to. I wanted to be a psychiatrist, and I opted for it. They sent me for advanced course in psychiatry. There I did in Pune Medical College. There I did my advanced course as well as I did my diploma in psychological medicine. At that time, there was no MD in psychiatry in those days. The MD psychiatry came. So during service, I did my MD from PGI and DPM from Pune, and I could fulfill my cherished desire what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a psychiatrist, perhaps, which would have been difficult in civil, I remember. But army, it was very nice. I got study leave.
Experience is different.
So army was
जो आपका आर्मी, हाँ जी,
आप बताइए व्हाट?
जी सर, जो आपका आर्मी का एक्सपीरियंस था और जो ये सिविल लाइफ में एक्सपीरियंस है, ये जैसे आपकी बातों से जाहिर है बहुत अलग है. सर आप डी एडिक्शन पे काम कर रहे हैं, और जैसे आपने बताया कि बहुत सारे बच्चों को आपने उससे बाहर निकाला, और एक जो प्रॉब्लम आती है कि अब जो बच्चे उसमें पहुंचे कैसे और बाहर निकल के फिर वो करेंगे क्या, रिहैबिलिटेशन, तो उसमें कहाँ तक सक्सेसफुल हैं आप?
This is very important. Rehabilitation is very important. Basically, drug addiction is a chronic relapsing disorder. It's a chronic brain disorder, and the patient gets relapses, multiple relapses. Sometimes people say that once a drug addict, almost always a drug addict. But it is not. We can bring them out of this with sustained efforts, and from comprehensive family therapy, group therapy, individual therapy, spiritual therapy. We somehow in our both these centers, we are giving holistic treatment. Holistic treatment consists of the you see, this is Sumail. This is a blend of traditional treatment along with the spiritual component, recreational therapy, and family therapy, group therapy, and other which are normally also given, drugs also. So this area, drug addiction, involves, you see, from every angle. We should attack this problem from each angle, whichever family sphere, society sphere. It's basically a psychosocial biological problem, biopsychosocial problem. So we have this multi-dimensional levels we have to treat, and this is what we are doing. This is the holistic treatment, and the holistic treatment brings better results. So addiction, both these centers, they are doing very well. For example, in Badusa, we are getting patients from other countries, America, England, and Australia. At present, we have a teenager girl who is an addict from America. She's under treatment, and she is now better. Now she's pursuing her studies also.
वेरी गुड, हाँ, क्योंकि
She has
उसके
come
बाद
here.
क्या करना है वो भी एक इश्यू होता है. वेरी गुड.
So it's a very, I mean, it's so paying area, and you feel so happy about it. Once you bring one patient out, that is equivalent to many other patients which are cured by the purely physical illnesses.
Because
So
it's a chain.
this is definitely, though it's a difficult, but it's very satisfying, very satisfying. It's
जो
become
ज्यादा
more-
मुश्किल होते हैं वही काम करने में ज्यादा सेटिस्फेक्शन होती है.
Ah,
इजी
the
तो सब करते हैं.
it is the challenges which make you see, face, and create opportunity to do something better than those who just traditionally feel take up the problem normal cases. So it's a wonderful area, but very difficult at the same time. There's no doubt about it. One patient of drug addiction perhaps is equivalent to more than 10 to 12 normal patients. If you are
Really?
no doubt, but because of the Adam problem, Adam people are fighting with each other. They are trying to commit suicide. They are running away. They are not. They are not interested at all about this admission. Also, they deny admission because they don't have insight that they are ill. They say, okay, nice. I'm not. We don't require. I can get. Uh, out of it whenever they want, but they can never get out. Once they are addicted, they have become dependent. They have to be admitted and de-addicted. They have to be detoxified, and it will take some time.
Really?
Other, not
पेशेंस
only
चाहिए.
weeks, months.
पेशेंट और डॉक्टर दोनों को पेशेंस चाहिए उसको क्योर करने के लिए. आई थिंक
It takes longer time as compared to the other disease. Consistently, they have to regularly. They don't follow up. Everything is a problem. Their admission is a problem. Once they are admitted, they don't want to stay there. They are demotivated. They want to go back to home. I'm missing my family, my children. And home they never see because they're most of the time out. They don't see the children. The wife says, ask him, when did he see the child? Because he was out. The children had gone to school. He was sleeping. So he was never there in the day. But when he's admitted in the hospital or the center, he says he's missing the child. The wife was there and he says, बताओ कभी बच्चों को देखा भी है इसने? So this is state of there. They are liars. They are manipulators. They deny. They are defiant. They are disobedient to treatment. So the problem is the difficulty of these patients is at every stage. You have to be consistent. We have to be, we have to do everything possible for their good, which they don't want themselves, unfortunately. This is a
बहुत अच्छे से बताया आपने. डॉक्टर साहब, आपने 2 किताबें भी लिखी हैं ड्रग डी एडिक्शन पे, तो उसके बारे में जानना चाहेंगे कि वो किस तरह से सोसाइटी की हेल्प कर रही हैं, क्या इम्पैक्ट रहा उनका?
These are books. One book is named and drug addiction. This is primarily the introduction to the, the drug addiction and other connected psychiatric ailments. So this is primarily meant for these medical officers or those counselors, the psychologists working in the center, de-addiction centers, and also those who want to be psychiatrists, residents, or psychiatry students. And another book is Be Aware and Beware of Drugs. Be aware, beware of drugs.
Yes.
Be aware, beware of drugs. So this is for the general public, for those who want to know about the know-how, what is drugs, when do we call it addiction, when would we call it drug abuse. This is the main information about the routine drug. This is mainly for the public, those who want to know, and what this is a problem which must be tackled. Parents must know about the drug addiction, because we have seen many of the parents, they come to us with their child who has been addicted for years together. They didn't know that he is addicted. We have just, it's surprising. So what are the incipient signs they are supposed to know? They has been mentioned in the second book. So these are books. The third book is the regarding the gems of wisdom. So this is regarding the great sayings of the world scholars and the thinkers, who have contributed great to the world. So this is these are three books that we have.
Yes.
I attempted to
Two
write.
on drug de-addiction, and the third is another book of great sayings. तो सर यहाँ पे हम 1 मिनट का ब्रेक लेते हैं और आपकी कुछ यादें हमारे पास हैं वो देखते हैं, और इससे पहले हम थोड़ा सा अपने जो दर्शक हैं जो शुरू से जुड़े हैं और साथ में कमेंट्स भी दे रहे हैं अपने बहुत सुंदर, उनसे भी बात करते हैं। धीरज यादव, इंदु हांडा, नंदिनी, पूजा सूद, ज्योत्सना राणा, रश्मि वर्मा, और ये सब लोग लगातार हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं और अपनी बात भी कह रहे हैं। आप सब जुड़े रहें, और हम यहाँ पे थोड़ी सी यादें हैं डॉक्टर साहब की हमारे पास। डॉक्टर साहब आप एक बार पानी आराम से और ले लीजिए, ये देखते हैं और अपनी बातचीत को आगे बढ़ाते हैं। डॉक्टर साहब को बहुत से अवार्ड्स भी मिले हैं और इनकी बातें हम इस वीडियो को देखने के बाद करते हैं। बहुत खूबसूरत यादें देखी आपकी हमने इन पिक्चर्स में। सर आपको बहुत से अवार्ड्स भी मिले हैं। His extraordinary vision and power to bring about change in the lives of patients have taken the drug addiction centers टू कलगीधर ट्रस्ट, और वहाँ पे जो काम इन्होंने किया उसकी वजह से इनको जो अवार्ड्स मिले हैं, डॉक्टर राजिंदर सिंह हैज बीन सेलिब्रेटेड with awards, Award of Human Glory, Contribution Award by Current Medical Journal of India, Award of Excellence by IMA चंडीगढ़, और इसके अलावा भी बहुत से अवार्ड्स हैं। लिम्का बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स में इनकी एक्टिविटीज एंटर्ड हैं। तो ये सारे अवार्ड्स आपके लिए क्या मायना रखते हैं सर?
ये अवार्ड तो मैंने कोई खास, मुझे लगता है कि अवार्ड तो ठीक है उन्होंने दे दिए, इंस्पिरेशन है, बट दिस इज नथिंग वेरी एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी। नॉर्मली हम काम करते रहे हैं, हमने अपनी ड्यूटी करी है और पेशेंट्स को ट्रीट कर रहा है, तो इट्स गुड थिंग दे हैव रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एंड आई एम ग्लैड दैट। अवार्ड में तो मेरा इतना, इट्स ऑलमोस्ट ए टीम वर्क। अवार्डिंग, you see, one individual, it's not entirely him, it's many people are involved. I am not the only person, it's everyone who is working there. It is his or her contribution which matters. So ठीक है, I was heading the de-addiction center, so my name is there. I don't think I need the appreciation all alone. All of them, they need it. It's the credit goes to them, more to them than to me.
ये उससे भी बड़ी बात है कि आपने अपनी पूरी टीम को, पूरा श्रेय आप खुद को नहीं दे रहे, पूरी टीम को दे रहे हैं। और वाकई में ये एक सच्चाई है कि एक अच्छा लीडर चाहिए होता है और उसके साथ पूरी टीम चाहिए, तभी कुछ बड़ा किया जा सकता है। अकेले के साथ, जैसे आपने बताया कि कारवां बनता गया, तो वो पूरे कारवां का अवार्ड है जी। और ये भी एक संकेत है कि जब प्रयास दिल से होते हैं तो असर दूर तक होता है, और जब दिल से एक टीम के साथ हम प्रयास करते हैं तो उसका जो असर है वो इन अवार्ड्स में हमें दिख रहा है। तो सर, आपसे एक बात और जानना चाहेंगे कि आप इस वक्त 92 इयर्स की एज है, आज तक आप काम कर रहे हैं, तो इसमें इसका राज क्या है? कि बहुत लोग 60-70 पे हार जाते हैं, तो ये जो राज है, मुझे लगता है कि ये बहुत बड़ी बात होगा, जिससे बहुतों को इंस्पिरेशन मिलेगी कि वो भी ये सोच सके कि हम भी लगातार काम करते रहेंगे।
राज तो इसका यही है कि यू टेक केयर ऑफ योर बॉडी, टेक केयर ऑफ द फूड विच यू टेक, एंड do regular exercise and stay away from, you see, stress. And the best way to stay away from stress is to have regular exercise, very nourishing diet, good sleep, and regular life, disciplined life. So there's nothing, I'm not doing something very great about it. I'm just, yes, exercise, I feel exercise is very important to keep you away from many diseases and from the stress also. It is the exercise which releases, moderate exercise, regular exercise, releases wellness hormones, that is serotonin, dopamine, endorphin. And if this dose is given early in the morning, you never require any other relaxation. Everything becomes so beautiful. I mean, there's so much, the nature to enjoy, the greenery to enjoy, walk, everything looks so wonderful, beautiful. If you look after yourself, I mean, diet, exercise, sleep, and way, and hobby, keep busy yourself. Occupation is also very important. Being occupied regularly in your days, every day and night, this is very important. There's nothing, there's no other magic for health. But otherwise, God's grace, it's a blessing. It's I also at the same time, gratefulness is also very important. Feeling grateful all.
Really, it's very important. सर की बात से मुझे लगता है कि बहुत लोग प्रभावित तो होंगे ही, लेकिन अपने जीवन में भी कुछ परिवर्तन लाएंगे, जिससे कि हम सब भी ये सोचें कि हम भी अगर भगवान इतनी उम्र देता है तब तक समाज के लिए कुछ ना कुछ करते रहें। सर, आज की जो, जैसे आपने बात भी की कि आज की जो यूथ है, युवा पीढ़ी है, तो इनकी कई मानसिक और भावनात्मक चुनौतियां हैं जिनसे ये लड़ रहे हैं। तो वो शायद उसी चक्कर में वो लोग ड्रग एडिक्ट भी हो जाते हैं। तो आप उनको इस माध्यम से क्या संदेश देना चाहेंगे, चिकित्सा और अध्यात्म दोनों की झलक लेते हुए, कि कैसे वो अपने मन, शरीर और आत्मा के बीच में संतुलन पाएं?
Youth is a very crucial period of one's life, very crucial period. And at the same time, it's a very slippery period because of the physical, endocrinal changes and many other emotional changes in the youth wants to have new experiments, new adventures, and also a kick in the life. It's the kick which diverts them or deviates them to drugs. It's very unfortunate that once they get nowadays the drugs are so addictive. Earlier the drugs were not addictive. Opium, bookie was not as, but now the drugs are so addictive. Once they try just being put under pressure by the colleagues, by the friends,
Yes,
and one injection, and that can take them away forever. So
forever.
it's the first step which is the most important. So I feel most important they must be able uh, uh, to be educated by the parents, by the teachers, and spiritual education, moral education is very important for the students. The
Yes,
responsibility primarily lies with the parents and the teachers. They must inculcate values in them, and if they inculcate values, they can stay prevention. This is a preventive step. Prevention is very important for this drug addiction because the treatment is so costly, so prolonged, and so difficult that it's not possible, very difficult to come out. As you said in the introduction, it's easy to stay out than to come out. It's very difficult. So the better is the prevention and protection of the children and the youth from these uh, drugs because they once they go into it and become dependent, then their life is very miserable. So it
and
because
it's
they
very
it's
difficult
very
to come
difficult.
out of that.
It's very difficult to come out of it. Very difficult. A very prolonged affair, very expensive affair. So the best is the treatment. The Calcutta Trust, the which we education which we are imparting, Calcutta Trust, the educational hub. We are running 130, the Akal academies, CBSE recognized, Cambridge University recognized, and also IB School, International Baccalaureate School, and also two universities, one Eternal University at Barsad and another in Punjab, Akal University in Batinda, Talwandi Sabo. So there the education is value-based education. What it
Yes,
means is the education is primarily moral, the virtuous education. And also our students, they are not they are not slipping into the drugs as much as the other. For example, in Chandigarh University, every school, we have been doing the preventive work, and we found that the government schools, the private schools, there are many patients who are, you have ensured many adults who are indulging in abuse of the drugs. But it's not so in our academies because of the system of education. I feel the education should be moral education, virtues to be, inculcated in the earlier times, childhood, early youth, and they will pay, see, great dividends they can stay away, virtuous in the later part of their life. So ultimately, it's the prevention, it's the inculcation of virtues which can keep them away from drugs rather than treating them. Emphasis on the drug de-addiction centers is not the solution, is not the solution at all, because so expensive, so time consuming, because the patients are not willing for it. Patients don't, they are demotivated, they deny the treatment, they are defiant, they don't observe the precautions. So the best will is be to prevent this deadly problem. That is the most important.
Prevention is better than cure
This is the old adage, and this applies
everywhere.
much everywhere, and I think especially in the drugs also.
Addicts.
This is a problem which is increasing. The drugs started only a few decades back. Therefore, we don't have any chapter on drug addiction when we were studying MBBS.
Yes.
And, uh, it's a
आप
few,
लोगों ने ये स्टडी खुद डेवलप की है कि इसको कैसे आगे बढ़ाना है.
so this problem has come out for the last few decades, 3, 4, 5 decades only, and it is not only you see prevalent, it is increasing in intensity. For example, the drugs in the as compared to the last decade, the present decade, the global prevalence has increased by 23% in this
It's
decade
too
as
much.
compared to the previous decade. So it's increasing. We have to take some de-addiction is
We
not the
have to
solution.
stop our youth to go there. करना हमें क्या है कि उनको इतनी समझ देनी है कि वो खुद ही दूर रहें उससे.
That is the important. That's most important, and that can only be done by awareness and education. They must be
Awareness and
educated
education.
so that they stay this away from the drug rather than to come out. Coming out is a big issue, very big issue. Best is to stay out. That is
आपके
the
साथ सर बहुत ही खूबसूरत बातचीत रही, बहुत ही इंस्पायरिंग और इंफॉर्मेशन भी बहुत मिली. हम सोचते हैं कि हमें न्यूज़पेपर के माध्यम से जितना पढ़ते हैं हमें मालूम होता है कि क्या चल रहा है. तो अंत में सर 2 लाइनों में जो भी आप हमारे देखने वालों को संदेश देना चाहें, या आप अपने ग्रेटिट्यूड देना चाहें अपनी टीम को, अपने परिवार को.
हाँ हाँ
2 मिनट का समय हमारे पास है. जी.
basically I am most you see grateful to Almighty God. Basically, the first I have to be grateful to Him because He has uh, brought me in this universe in a family which I think valued merits and virtues in their lives. And I inspired by my parents, by my brother, and by my good colleagues, and also Calcutta Trust, Baba Iqbal Singh Ji, and others of the founders of Calcutta Trust. It's a great inspiration for me. And I feel that all these the youngsters, they must read about the you see biographies of the great men. For
Really.
example, Aristotle, Guru Nanak, Vivekananda. If they work with them, if they read about the great men, they will inculcate certain values which will stand them in very good stead. I must say that reading is very important. They must read about the heritage we have, our country, our nation is great nation India, and we have produced men, great men. And if we go into their biography, we learn so many things from them. And we should, you see, implement their teachings, their sayings, their words, their values in our own life. So that is the another area which I think, in addition to inculcating values in childhood and during student by the parents and the teachers, they must get hold of the books, good books, and read them and uh, inculcate values, bring them into their own life, implement. that is the it will be good for them. They will.
It will really make a difference. Yes.
It will make a difference. It
Yes.
does make a difference. Your environment should be healthy. You should stay in virtuous company. Avoid the company which is negative, which is taking you away from the correct path. That we need.
गुड.
This is the
बहुत
suggestion.
ही अच्छी इन्फॉर्मेशन दी आपने और बहुत ही इम्पैक्टफुल इन्फॉर्मेशन है. और डॉक्टर साहब, आपके विचार, आपके अनुभव, आपकी सेवा की ये जो यात्रा जो आज हमने सुनी, ये मुझे लगता है कि सभी के लिए बहुत प्रेरणादायी है. और हम ये भी ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करते हैं कि आपका मार्गदर्शन आने वाली पीढ़ियों को भी प्राप्त हो. और आपका जो योगदान है, जिस तरह से आप बात कर रहे हैं और जो काम आप कर रहे हैं, ये कुछ शब्दों में तो आ नहीं सकता और कुछ मिनटों में भी नहीं समा सकता. ये तो बहुत ही अमूल्य काम आप कर रहे हैं. तो लेकिन हमारा समय यहाँ समाप्त होता है, तो आज का कार्यक्रम हम यहाँ समाप्त करते हैं. और इसके बाद फिर कभी आपसे दोबारा भी मेरी इच्छा के किसी और मंच पे हम बात करें और आपके अनुभव से समाज को फायदा पहुंचा सकें. हमारे दर्शक जो देख रहे हैं और जो आगे देखेंगे इस कार्यक्रम को, आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि विमेन टीवी इंडिया के कार्यक्रम आप देखते रहें और कमेंट बॉक्स में आप हमें जरूर लिखें कि आप और ऐसे जो महान व्यक्ति हैं किनको जानते हैं, जिनका कि आप चाहेंगे कि इस मंच पे बात की जाए, हम उनसे जरूर बात करेंगे ताकि समाज का कल्याण हो सके ऐसे अनुभवों को सामने लाते हुए. डॉक्टर साहब, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आपने अपने कीमती समय में से समय निकाला और हमारे बीच में आए.
Thank you so much. You are doing great work, I must say. You are collecting the virtuous lives for the people who have done something in their life and bringing them to the public. This is a great service which you are doing. People will get inspiration from you particularly, because you are collecting. Thank you so much.
Your blessings really mean to me a lot. Thank you, sir.